Yo, so welcome to Tomorrowland.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. You played Tomorrowland recently. How was that?
Super. It was great.
It's like kind of surreal for you being so young playing a festival like that.
Definitely. It was for sure like the main goal since I started.
Yeah.
Doing an IDNT event just in general. I mean, Mysteryland was amazing. Tomorrowland. The thing about these festivals, they don't fuck around. Like, look at this. I mean, this is
beautiful.
There's no other festival minus Coachella that can compare to this because these guys know what they're doing, and that's why every time I come here, I don't really ever need to advance anything. Everything's already set. That's how amazing it is. It was definitely surreal for playing Tomorrowland, but Tomorrow World is just as good. They're all the same. They're all top.
You still kind of get that like feeling when you're on stage, like wow, like I can't believe this is really happening, or are you kind of like over that stage in your career?
You know what? It's weird because I don't get like nervous before a show. It's always after. It's like when I'm sitting in my hotel room,
like wondering how you did.
100%. After the show, when I'm going over social media, going, man, what did I do? Did I fuck up? This and that. But you know, it's one of those weird, surreal moments when you're playing in front of 10,000 people. Then right after you're in a hotel room by yourself, and it's dead quiet. It's very bizarre.
Cool. So you know, just I know you have a background as a race car driver. I'm just wondering, you know, how you went from race car driving to DJing.
It's really weird. Yeah. It was because I was living in China, and when I was living in China, there was a lot of clubs we could go to. It was very easy to go to the club, and electronic music's been over there for a while. And I went there and I saw a guy named DJ Kubert, and he was like a DMC world champion, and he just blew me away. It was like by far one of the dopest sets I've seen. That was just a fucking turn.
And you know, a lot of DJs are self-taught. They kind of just figured it out on their own, started playing around. You actually went to school.
Yeah.
DJ. Yeah. So how do you think that's helped
become a producer?
Okay. Yeah. So how do you think that's helped you, and what do you think that advantage? What advantages does that bring to people?
You know, it's think about this. If you didn't go to school, it's about learning the basics. You know, reading, writing. You know, the basics of literature, and that's how it was when I went to Icon. It was I needed to learn the basics before I started doing something because I didn't really want to, start not knowing anything and just be like getting over it really quickly because I really didn't know what to do. So I learned all my tools in the toolbox before I started making my own money, basically. So Icon definitely took me from the first step to the 50th step, and I need to finish the next 50th.
And you know, when you were younger, you were actually mentored by DJ AM. It's kind of a legend.
Yeah.
Talk about what he taught you.
You know what? It wasn't really a mentorship. It was just being a good friend. I mean, it didn't even matter if he was DJ. He was just a good guy. He really just steered me in the right direction of where I need to go.
And you know, before you became a producer, you were actually a DJ, playing live shows. So when you are playing live shows, do you base your sets kind of on, real-time feedback from the crowd, or do you have a kind of preset what you're going to do? How do you choose?
Definitely not. I mean, that's one thing about being a DJ when I started. It was, I had to read a crowd. And reading the crowd's half the fun. I mean, I would never go to a show knowing what I'm gonna play. I have certain tracks that I play in my routines, but
do you know where you're gonna play some in this set, or you just?
I always play Spring It, like number 1, it's my intro, and then I always play Countdown to 3, and everything after that, it's kind of like wherever it falls in, it falls in. But it's cool because I really know the timing of sets, and that's really important. When I can put something in, when I can't, just knowing the time. The majority of DJs only have an hour for this festival.
So does it differ then, depending on which festival you're playing or which club you're playing?
100%. Clubs, it's different. You can do whatever at clubs because clubs usually let you go on for longer. But festivals, you really want to like try blowing the crowd away. I would say play new stuff, play classic stuff, being able to just being versatile. It's all you need to be at festivals. Being very versatile. That's why a lot of these Diplo, A-Track, Dylan Francis are really good because they play everything. And that's the same thing with me. Like I play hip hop, I play rock, I play classics, I play electronic music, I play my own stuff, I play the new stuff. People have fun when they go to my sets. They go, oh, fuck, I know that song. Cool, it's mixed up something new.
So, let's get into some fun questions. What has been the craziest moment of your career so far? Just like the moment that kind of blew your mind.
Definitely, I brought my parents to Coachella this year. They've never seen me play before. So I brought them to Coachella, and they were like, oh, this is what you do. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, this is great. She's like, oh, hey, I know, Lord. I listen to her stuff on the radio. My trailer's right next to her. And
do your parents approve of what you do? Like, really support it?
Yeah, definitely my mom, my stepdad, my dad, and my stepmom are. So it's kind of cool to see, where they are now because they see kind of what I'm doing. They go, oh, you're traveling around the world, and it's a hard lifestyle to accept because you ever see those memes where it says, this is what I do, this is what I think I do, this is what people think I do. They're like the epitome of it. It's like,
so when you say it's not as glamorous as most people think,
100%. Yeah, I mean, you know, there are definitely more pros and cons, but the cons weigh in.
Okay, cool. And you know, what was that moment in your career where you just kind of like knew you had made it, where you knew you just kind of hit that next level? Was there one moment so far where you just were like, fuck, I did it? So,
definitely playing Tomorrow World last year was amazing. Coachella for sure. You know, being able to meet all these guys I've looked up to for such a long time. I mean, meeting Jared Leto was insane for me. You know, he's a cool guy. Yeah, he's like man, really loved your stuff. And I'm like, holy shit, Jared Leto saying this to me. So that was by far one of the coolest moments.
Do you think being so young in the industry has any disadvantages or any? You're not running! You know, because you're with people like Tiesto, way back with guys that have been doing it for like 10, 15 years, and you're still so young. Do you think that has any drawbacks? Do people expect more from you? Do you think there's more challenges?
Man, it's one of those things. It's, you know, those guys have been doing it for so long. They're so experienced. And
you feel intimidated ever when you're playing with
I don't, you know. Luke and I just played in Ibiza like 2 days ago at the same festival, and watching his set, how he changes it up, going from a festival to Ibiza, different crowd, different lifestyles, different people. It was a shock to me because these guys just know how to do this experience. You know, they've been experienced for so long, and I look up to that. You know, I look up to Luke stuff, I look up to Tiesto stuff. These guys are just experienced, and they've been doing it for so long. They just they know who's good and who's bad. They know how to weigh out the shit. They know how to read it. They just know good. They just know good from bad.
Cool. And you know, just before we wrap up, what can we expect next? Any upcoming collaborations, singles, EPs, albums?
Yeah, so a couple more free tracks, but I'm focusing on an album in January. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take all of January off. So if you don't hear from me for a whole month in January,
you're in the studio.
I'm in the studio doing an album. Hey man, appreciate it. Thanks. Hold on, is that the Ashton Kutcher camera?
Man, it's fantastic. Why you gotta be so fucking tall, man?
I was saying, make sure the framing's good. Just look through it. Make sure we're good.
That's the Ashton Kutcher camera.